Hello, I'm Byron Roberts. Everybody has a dream. Whether a dream may be a life goal, a job, or even an unattainable fantasy. Everyone has one or all of these, and I believe they are all within one's grasp. You just have to find a way to reach high enough. As I mature, I notice more and more my struggles and worries about having enough money in my account just to get gas or food. And I think to myself, if I have a hard time just with food and gas and school and everything else going on, how the heck am I going to survive when I'm on my own? What job am I going to have? As I look around, I see my schoolmates struggle with the same thing. And what isn't reassuring is I see adults, including my father, with jobs they can't stand, and they have these jobs because they have to live. Recently this year, my father sat me down to talk about his situation and how he doesn't want me to end up like him. He said that when he was my age, he wanted to be a musician, which he is astoundingly great one. But he had made some mistakes that kept him from pursuing his dream, and now he has to live with that. The reason I'm telling you this is because I never want anyone to listen to this to end up somewhere he or she is miserable. I believe with a little passion, anyone can live their dream. And here's a warning. All the music you're about to hear was created by me in order to show a timeline of my progress, so there will be a lot of change-ups between styles and keys of music that might sound weird. So let's get started. My passion for music exploded ever since I got my first guitar when I was 5. I practiced pretty much every day, and everything became simpler and I got better. Eventually I started to have a little fun band with my friends. However, that didn't last long at all. During the summer before my 7th grade year, I was over at my friend's house, and this is the drummer for my band, or the ex-drummer. And he showed me a free music creation website called Loop Labs. Instantly, I was hooked. I went off on my own time and started to create tracks upon tracks until I eventually released an album. Right now you should be hearing that first track I ever made. I know, it's bad, but I thought I was a hot shot when I made it. But let's get back to the chill soundtrack. I joined the orchestra and band. I learned how to play violin, play a variety of instruments and percussion, read music, and my ear became more and more sensitive to the way music should sound and behave. Then I realized the music I was making really sucked. I needed to use something better, more personal than Loop Labs. Since I was creating electronic music, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos of amazing artists creating jaw-dropping compositions. Suddenly, I saw an amazing device called a launchpad. So my parents bought me one for my birthday and I installed it. What came next opened the door to an entire world for me. The Launchpad came with a music composition and mastering program called Ableton Live, which is a very powerful and efficient digital audio workstation, or DAW. With Ableton, every note, every beat, every story is entirely up to the artist's imagination. What you should be hearing now is one of the first songs I made in Ableton. Now, it's a big step up from my first one ever, however, it's still pretty bad. Therefore, let's go back to what we were listening to before. During the next couple of years, I would create for hours upon hours every day. I would constantly bother my friends telling them to check out my latest song once or twice a month. I bet that was pretty annoying. So, I apologize for those of you who I did that to. Eventually, guitar became a huge part of my life as well. I was the lead guitarist alongside my father in the church worship team at Stonegate, and I figured out cool ways to incorporate guitar into my compositions. Then, I signed up to take a free course on how to correctly make music and produce music. Anyway, sorry. On Ableton through my dream college at the time, Berklee Institute of Music. Let me tell you, if I was as devoted to my classes as I was to that course, I would turn in a lot more assignments on time. Sorry, Miss Worcester. I developed miraculously. My music was good. Here's a quick snippet. Around the end of junior year, the electronic side of me started to fade, and I created more songs with a guitar, which eventually evolved into metal. I began to take more interest in really semi-professionally mixing and mastering my songs. I watched more and more musicians and tutorials and increased my inspiration. I was devoted. I decided I wanted to pursue music for the rest of my life in music business, producing and playing alongside music legends and living off my own creations. While I auditioned for the School of Music at West Texas A&M University, the guitar professor was so kind to me, and he was very impressed with my performance, but he was the most impressed with my passion for music. He told me that he has strong connections to $1 million studios in Nashville, Tennessee, the heart of the music industry, and he promised me that he will put me there someday. I found a way to turn my passion into my future job, and I believe God has blessed everyone with an opportunity. Therefore, chase your dreams. They're waiting for you.